Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
And welcome to the modified Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast, coming to you from Quarantine City. That's right, my house and your house. The world is under quarantine, which means my podcast continues to be very low budget. And it's not the budget part. Actually, it's costing me just as much to do the podcast. But I mean, the quality is compromised. The sound is compromised. The look of it's compromised. My hair is compromised. My face is compromised. I look sleepy. I haven't done anything with my clothes. If you could smell me, you'd notice I smell different because I have no producer. I have no engineer. I've got no sound tech. In fact, the only people that have been to my house is the guy you're about to see in this episode 104, Randy Valerio. He's a good friend of mine. You've probably seen him maybe open for me on the road. He's a great guy. He is from Queens, New York, and you can tell it when he talks, and you can tell it when he tells you any story. He is as Queens as it gets. He's one of my best friends. He's a great guy. I've always described him as a perfect combination between sweetheart and scumbag. Because he's edgy, he's out there, he's wild, but he's also a great dude. He went to Brown. He's very smart. He's an interesting guy. He has a podcast called the Ready, Set, Blow podcast, where him and the guy that actually met him through, Chase Abel, and they do a podcast every week, and they just talk. They just chop it up. And so I said, how about for this week, I'll do your podcast and you do mine. We'll both just post basically the exact same podcast. That being said, there's no theme. There's no anything. I think it fits my theme because they are my friends, and so we chop it up friendship style. I'm excited for you guys to meet my good friends, Randy Valerio and Chase Abel. If you enjoy us talking and chopping it up, sorry again about the quality. This is via Zoom. Go ahead and subscribe to their podcast, Ready, Set, Blow. By the way, thank you guys so much. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you have saved my my ass as far as I'm spending more money trying to produce these and knock these out by having to, having to send money to All Things Comedy to have them kind of help me with how to produce this and put it out there. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Your money's going to use. You're helping me big time. I love you guys. I hope that you guys continue to subscribe. And like I keep promising each week, once this quarantine is over, the episodes will not only go back to as good of quality as they used to be, but our guests are going to be bigger and better, which I'm excited about because I have this list of people that are going to come, but the quarantine kind of screwed it all up. Anyways, we appreciate you guys. If you guys want to be a Patreon subscriber, what you get is you get to watch all the episodes as soon as they come out. You get first dibs on all these things. You can message back and forth with me on Patreon. Also, you get free tickets to all my live stand-up comedy shows. So there's that. Anyways, love you guys. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Without further ado, meet my good friends Chase Abel and Randy Valerio on their podcast, Ready, Set, Blow. There he is. What's up, baby boy?
Seems like you guys are like depositioning me.
Yeah, we've this is an intervention.
You know what? You're the only friend. You're the only friend that said that in my whole life, and I'm very happy and looking forward to this.
I've done this over Skype, but never in the room with one person and not like this. I feel like we're ganging up on Chase. Like I said, it feels like an intervention.
Yeah, but it feels great, you know? I feel like, we've got to kind of team up on it, you know? It's like we want to say, get your shit together. There's a crack in your wall. The water heater looks like it's not up to code. Is that a beer sticker? What did you make a beer bigger? And
That's the
then peel
nicest
it
corner
off?
of his apartment. That is the finest corner of his apartment.
I'm worried about you, dude.
Jeff, you have no idea, bro. You have no idea.
We gotta save him, man. He's in Beirut via Zoom. We've got to save him.
He's in Fallujah right now.
I haven't. A lot of people that are going to be watching my podcast are going to be upset that Randy's at my house, because I have a lot of like very sweet podcast listeners, a lot of very friendly, nice people. They mean well, but they're overly cautious and worrisome. You know, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're not supposed to have people over." I got yelled at just because I said having one person over. Randy's been over. If Randy has corona, I got corona.
That's the thing.
That's
I was gonna make. I haven't seen. I've seen the same 5 people since the lockdown, and those are the people I saw that when they announced the lockdown. I was my buddy Tyler, you,
right.
Rachel, and one other person. Like it's like my 2 roommates. So it's not like I'm being exposed to any more people by coming back to your house.
Right. When also here's an interesting thing too, is like if I have I'm trying to think about how to word this. Oh, there he is. Sideways. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's better.
It looks a lot better.
Shows less of your apartment.
Here's the thing, like if is there a bag of stuff back there? What is that thing?
Did we start?
It's Chase's luggage.
No, what I was gonna say is like they want me to sit in my house alone, and they say don't have even one person over. Nobody. You need to be you're alone. But what if I had a family of 10? Am I supposed to separate myself from those 10? Am I supposed to just be alone in one room of my house? No, you'd say those 10 can be together. So I've kind of chosen a little 10, and then that's been my 10.
It's also
your rotation,
last forever. I mean, like at some point we're all going to be exposed to not necessarily this disease, but things in life you don't want. And hanging around your home is only going to delay that. It's going to
absolutely
bad news happens. It finds you eventually. You might as well have a laugh.
Yeah, I think it's also much easier if you have roommates, you know, and people living with you, you know. It makes the time go by fast.
That's why, like, in prison, dude, the biggest punishment they can give you is putting you in solitary confinement. Guys would rather be in general population, and risk getting raped because it's better than being in isolation alone for 20 hours. That's how bad like you to be alone all day.
That is a fascinating thing. I feel like maybe that might be the only circumstance where I would be happy to be alone.
In prison, I mean, because I think rape sounds worse than boredom.
Well, and also just the stress of having a conflict, or the stress of someone wanting to fight you, or like overthinking how to play it. You know, like someone's like, "Eat that food," and you're like, "I wasn't gonna eat that anyways." And now they're like, "Oh, you're the bitch because you let him have your food." But they're like, "You should have fought him." Be like, "I don't want to fight him either."
Yeah. Do you guys are great?
I almost got into a fight.
In jail? Like how much? Like if someone had to sentence you, like how much would you do before you're like, all right, I'm gonna hang myself. I'm not gonna do the time.
Okay, well, I'm an acclimator. Like I'm good at adjusting.
Okay.
I'm kind of chameleon-esque. Like I at first hated quarantine.
But you're not tough.
Now I'm killing it. Now I'm killing quarantine. But I am smart. All right, I'm not intelligent.
You're funny.
But yeah, I think I'll be able to manipulate those minds. I think the people in prison are pretty. So I think I'd last pretty long. I think I'd do well in prison, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would. I'd be able to manipulate the system. I think I'd be like the popular one. Is what I really.
Would you be like the dirt and filth?
No, I'd hate that. But also, I'm not like a kill myself type. You know, like how long would you before you call it?
I feel like I could do.
Oh, fucking Randy, please! You fucking get rid of.
2 years left.
Really?
More 2 years. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but you're super smart. Like, and you.
I mean, I could have.
That has. Yeah, but that. Yeah. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, Randy. Go ahead.
I feel like going to jail for Chase would be an upgrade.
Yeah, look at this room.
You lose some weight, you work out, dude. It's like boot camp.
Well, that's another thing I was saying.
And he's black, so he can survive. We're getting raped. We're constant.
Yeah.
Well, and also, we're the minority in there, big time.
Yeah, I've been to jail twice.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. I'll tell you that right now.
I believe that. That's the understatement of the millennium.
Yeah, not fun.
I got a fight. I got one time I got in jail. I was in Atlanta. This is a funny story. Black cop, actually, which I thought I was going to get off. It didn't happen. I thought he was going to let me off.
Like pull the black cards. Hey, come on, brother. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
No, dude.
No.
Black arrest?
No.
That is not fair, man.
No, it's funny. I was like 6 months into comedy, and I was just visiting Atlanta, and I went down a one-way, and all my cousins were hammered, and I was the only one driving because I was the only one. Like, I don't really drink that much. So he pulled me over. I was like, hey, man, like, I didn't know I was going on a one-way. He's like, oh, okay, that's cool. You have a license, right? I was like, yeah, of course I do. I didn't have a license, like, at all.
He's like, yeah, where is it?
Like,
oh, it's not on me. No.
I didn't have it on me.
I mean, I used to have one.
Well, Randy knows the story. Like, I didn't drive without a license for like 6 years. I just didn't drive with one.
And they arrested you because you had like a bench warrant or something. You had like outstanding tickets, and they arrested you on that. Is that what it was? Something like, I don't know, it was like something like technical. Like,
No, it was because my license was suspended.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like you had a DUI or you got caught in a bar fight. It was like literally like, oh, I had a driving infraction I never paid, and now I'm sitting in jail for this. Like,
but also,
well, the funny thing,
you did have a license. It was just suspended.
Yeah.
So you say, hey, you have a license? You're like, yes, I do have a license. It's just
yeah. But the funny thing is, when I went to the county jail, I stayed there for 4 days because I couldn't get bailed out.
Funny at all?
Well, this is the funny part. When I first got in there, when we went to go eat, the inmate that I was sharing the bed with, well, not the bed, but the bunk bed.
Sharing a bed with? Boyfriend. Whoa, dude.
Yeah,
that's a real weird way to come out.
Now, he acclimates fast.
Boyfriend. Whoa.
Not the fucking whatever with.
Yeah,
he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight. He wanted to fight me because like I didn't trade my bologna sandwich for his fruit cup.
What?
Like he wanted my it was like that's what they do in jail, like in county, like they trade you the food. Like
I've seen that on shows, you know, like a commissary and snacks and cigarettes. That all becomes the economy. The snacks and those kind of things are your economy. Sometimes little phones or like some sort of iPad.
I heard like Top Ramen's like a hot product, like fucking fresh coffee pods, like this. Oh man, that's a currency.
Yeah, but to say like I'll trade you $20 for $15 and you say no deal, I wouldn't then go, we have to fight each other.
Yeah, he's basically robbing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was hungry. I didn't eat all day. I was like, nah. And he was like making a big thing of it, So
Weird.
Dude,
yeah, it was serious, man.
4 days. Pretty too long.
Yeah, it was 4 days. It was rough, dude.
Did you fight him, or was it just like he wanted to fight you?
No, because then like the comedian in me kind of like kicked in. I was just like trying to make fun, it's interesting. Like it makes you when you're like in a like desperate corner, man. Like it's interesting. Like you got to kind of think on your feet real quick, So you try to make light of the situation. Like, oh man, I'm allergic. I thought I was allergic to fucking fruit. That's what I told him.
I'm allergic to fruit roll-up. What are you talking about?
That's amazing. Wait, here's a question for you. When you were in prison, or not prison, when you were in jail, did your vernacular change? Did you start talking like nah, man, I ain't even trading you the fruit? Did you start doing that, or did you talk the way
right away? Absolutely.
I love that.
It kicks in, bro.
We would do that. I wonder if we would do that. We would start using the terms.
Oh no, we would get fucked up.
I'll knock the brakes off you, motherfucker! Like or something like that. Like I've never said that in my life.
Because to be honest with you guys wouldn't even have to do it because, like, honestly, like we don't expect that for you guys to do that.
Oh, okay.
So we would want you just to be yourself because we would just be like, nah, he's straight, he's cool. You know what I mean? Because if you did that, we'd be like, what the fuck's this guy doing?
Why are you hamming it up? It's kind of like, you ever hear like someone like use their business voice in a telephone call? Like you're with a friend, you're hanging out at a bar, like, I'll call real quick. It's like a business.
It drives me crazy.
And then they go back to their normal life. What the fuck was that? You act like that at work?
That's who you are? Crazy.
You're that guy?
I hate when they bring someone into like a courtroom, right? And you know that this like big, she's like a witness, but she's like a big fat black lady or something. And you know in real life, she just talks like a big fat black lady. She's great. She's a regular person. But then she gets on the stand and she's like, then he proceeded to the vehicle. And you're like, proceeded to the vehicle? What are you talking?
You went to the car.
Dude,
that's not true.
He came up to the car. Like, you wouldn't be... Why are you trying to church it up with all these big,
using therefore and you never use that transition.
They apprehended me. You're like, stop it. You're not.
You're a suspect. You would never call someone a suspect.
Yeah, just be yourself.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. Like, there's something for me at least. Like, there's something about the articulation of words that makes people feel like a little bit less like inferior when someone has like like a certain vocabulary.
Well,
right?
what do you mean? Go ahead, explain that.
I don't know. I just made that up. I thought
that makes sense. No, that makes sense.
Great.
Right. That's again, Chase stumbled onto a nugget of knowledge. You actually people do mirror, like when you're having a good conversation with someone, you mirror your mannerisms.
Okay.
Like, it happens. Like you start using, dude. Like I'll use phrases you use now in my own life,
happens,
like
sure.
because you build that rapport. So if you start doing that, it makes them feel like they know you more. It's like a persuasion technique.
Yeah.
And you just did it because I'm trying to save my life. You get fucked up behind a bologna sandwich, but that's an actual like a negotiation technique.
Yeah, but I think he was speaking to like how like they wouldn't expect us to be acting kind of like,
be out of place.
Yeah,
you should sound like corny white
just
guys.
be yourself, and that's what I feel like. Just be yourself. Talk the way you talk. And so I feel like if someone got on the stand and they were just talking the way they talk, they'd be like, all right. Yeah, at least I think you can sniff that out, like when someone's being sincere.
Well, it's almost
yeah, I agree with
like,
you. 100%, Jeff. 100%.
Like, you know, you don't talk like that. You can convey the same meaning without using the big words that you found out just recently.
Yeah, if you learn big words and you want to start using them, that's great. But just don't be something you're not. It's annoying.
Yeah, it gets yeah, you're absolutely right. I think people go through phases now, as men specifically. You know, we go through like different phases, and then we try to.
Women, I'll have a fucking French accent if it'll get me laid.
You know, there was a
I'll say any lie.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
I don't think. Would you think you? Yeah, I guess. Would you say you were the same person that you were 15 years ago?
Hell no.
No.
Not even close. If you listen to my first comedy album, I don't even sound like that anymore.
Right.
My whole voice changed. My vernacular changed. It's all changed. So I don't know. I don't know if prison would do that. How long would you be in prison before you just have to go, I can't do this shit no more? Or would you just forever? I think I would do forever, right? I mean, that's what you would.
I guess you have no. I mean, you said end it like just completely just be like I'm out.
Yeah, like end it.
I couldn't do 25 years. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna,
yeah,
get drunk and then jump off a bridge.
If you knew you had like there was no hope of getting out, would you kill yourself? Is that the question?
Yeah. Could you do life?
No.
I'd rather have a good time and exit stage left than fucking just mire in obscurity in prison. Hope that I get raped.
Nah. I wouldn't. Nah, I don't know if I have the balls to do it, man. I don't know. I guess it depends.
To kill myself.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out because I'm always holding on to hope,
That's the thing.
Which all those guys do. All those guys are like, oh, there's gonna be something that'll prove me innocent.
Yeah, my third appeal will work.
Yeah, no, dude, it's over for you. There's no one fighting for you, and it looks like you did it.
Yeah. You killed 5 people.
The matches for this one.
Yeah. Let alone, like Stephen Avery's still in prison. Might never get out because they tried already.
Oh, that dude.
And
Stephen Avery.
What's that?
Steve Avery. Isn't he like the Atlanta Braves pitcher?
No, that's
Making a murder.
Well, actually, there was a Steve Avery that was a Braves pitcher, but no, Stephen Avery was like a white trash guy who was accused of raping a lady, and then they found out when DNA evidence came out that he definitely didn't do it, and these dirty cops framed him. And then so they let him out. He's about to sue the police department, make a ton of money, and then they find a dead body on his property.
Get out of here! Are
and
you
those
serious?
same cops arrest him, and now
get out of here!
It's the biggest nonsense ever, like total frame job.
That's crazy.
Believe it or not, a lot, and I think that happens more frequently than not. Like in terms of just general bad investigative skills that they cover up. Like, dude, look at that guy Mike Nifong in was it Virginia or North Carolina with Duke. And those guys got accused of raping.
Oh yeah.
He knew that it was out and out loud, but he kept prosecuting. He was prosecuting that because he was running for re-election to district attorney. Right. And he lost his law license, and he got I think he of a crime. He didn't go to jail. He got like a fine, and he lost his license. But he completely was railroading these kids for his own gain. He was like, I gotta look the other way.
Governor Christie did that and pissed me off. Like there was like this animal activists, right? They found out that this place, some big fat corporation, and I don't even know what they distribute, what they make, but they test on animals. And they test on animals so aggressively that 500 animals die a day.
Jesus Christ.
Monkeys, like little beagles.
It's like a slaughterhouse.
It was, 500 a day. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
And and I don't know what they made. They made makeup maybe, or some sort of I don't know, chemicals, or maybe even medicine. Who knows? Or I guess someone knows. I don't know is what I meant. But basically these guys were like, these kids from, I think Colorado were like, we're not going to put up with this. We're going to do whatever it takes to shut down these people. And the way we'll do it is we'll attack their pockets. We'll go after and protest any company that even does any dealings with them, right? And they were so successful at it that people started bailing out. People started saying, hey, I don't want to deal with these crazy people who are like yelling at my house with megaphones and protesting and signs. So we're going to cut ties with that corporation, right? So they cut ties so much that the corporation actually starts collapsing from underneath. Well, then Mayor Christie accused them of terrorism. They said that's terrorism. They're like, no, it's protest. Yeah, you can protest. And they're like, no.
It's called a boycott. You can absolutely boycott a company.
That's verbal terrorism. But here's the thing.
How much did that company donate to this campaign?
It's insane.
You know the company donated money to
these kids went to jail.
Jesus Christ.
And they were considered domestic terrorism. But here's the thing. That's not terrorism. There's a big difference between destroying a window of a business and then blowing someone's arm off. Like there's totally different. And they're like, yeah, but it was mentally torturous. You're like, no, that's bullshit. That's not terrorism. That's just being annoying. And anyways, so yeah, Governor Christie like pissed me off so bad with that whole shit.
Dude, have you ever heard the thing he did with the George Washington Bridge? Like he had into a beef with someone in the New York City administration. So he shut down the lanes to New Jersey on the George Washington Bridge for like 4 hours.
You can't.
And just creates a giant. I mean, it's pretty gangster to do that kind of shit. The guys fucking around with people's commutes like that. Like,
I hate it.
Like literally 500,000 people are like, what the fuck? We can't get back to New Jersey.
It's just crazy that they're allowed to do anything.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Like Donald Trump's like mad at some mayor of Michigan or the governor or whatever, and just decides, all right, I'm not going to send her aid from the coronavirus. It's like, no.
Moron.
Yeah, they might have voted for you, idiot.
20 people in Michigan who love you, Donald. Yeah. What are you doing? You're mad at her, so you're gonna
kill some people?
It makes no sense. It's just the way the politicians and corporations get to like run amok. And I don't want to sound like some weird conspiracy theorist, like leftist, but it's insane when you figure out like that all that stuff is connected. It's wild.
Oh yeah, for sure. I watched a lot of
Barack Obama.
Huh?
Did you vote for Barack Obama?
Come on, man. You know my voting situation, man. Why are you trying to blast me out, bro?
What's your voting situation?
There isn't any, Jeff.
Nice. I've hey, we're in the same boat, man.
You can't vote?
No, we're not.
But would you vote if you could?
No, it's gonna work.
It depends on like what time of the day it is. You know what I mean? Like it depends. Like I don't
donuts.
It's like you're like, well, if they came to my house,
you delivery?
They ask me who I want before I tell them my thoughts, and then that counts. Sure, I'm not gonna go wait in a line or register.
No, my approach to voting is I would watch it very closely, and if it's like very, very close, then I'd go vote. Because I feel like that would make the pendulum swing a little bit. Like if I would have, but if it's like if the guy's winning already, whoever's there's no reason to go. You know.
Okay.
So.
The presumptive winner.
Yeah, like I've said that before. I don't know if it was necessarily what I really thought, but I have said that before because like in Seattle, all like the, I'm trying to think like Obama was a landslide from where like in Seattle, Washington.
They're pretty liberal, right? Seattle's a pretty liberal state, right?
And same with California, like that was like very liberal. So it's like I agree with that, but also I don't know. I think like if I voted for Hillary Clinton, I would feel gross inside. And if I voted for Donald Trump, I would feel gross inside. So I don't fuck with it. Like I'll vote with my dollar. I vote with my ethics.
It's also odd that
I said it's that's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah. I said it's a chase before. It's odd too that you get a receipt for everything in life. I mean, for birth, you have a birth certificate, for everything. But when you go to the voting booth, you just get a sticker. There's no receipt saying, yeah, this is who you voted for. This is the time, this is the date. And like a little paper receipt, like that it counts. Like I don't know, I can just push the button and fucking who knows if it's an official price to it. Like,
it's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same. You're exactly right, bro. It's like I don't believe in like the fucking moon landing actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Like they just fucking recorded that shit in Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck? Like we don't fucking know. Like there's no wind on the moon, dude. There's no wind on the moon. They got the fucking flag.
How did we get to this?
Not only that, Chase believes the moon is made out of cheese like they did in the 1500s.
Yeah, a big moldy plot of cheese. Why else would it have those big holes on it? You don't believe the moon landing was real?
Nah.
Why?
No.
Let's get into this.
Because well, if you like, I wasn't a big physics person.
You're almost
right?
There you go.
Yeah, won't give it away. I'm not a big physics guy, really, Chase. Breaking new ground for our listeners.
That's crazy. If you're watching this, you can't tell, but he's recording from somewhere that looks a lot like SpaceX. So it's shocking he's not into physics. All right, go ahead.
Well, on the moon, the
Yeah.
actual moon, there's no wind.
Yeah, makes sense.
So when Buzz Aldrin, right, got off the fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
No, is that his name? Buzz Aldrin, right?
Neil
The
Armstrong
astronaut?
was first.
Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin went up.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Who's the dude from Toy Story?
That's Buzz
Lightyear.
Lightyear. Totally different guy.
Okay.
That's Tim Allen.
Right.
Tim Allen,
I totally.
When Buzz Lightyear got up there, he was like, man, Neil Armstrong wasn't playing. It's windy. No, where were you going with this? All right, so someone
No,
gets...
so I'm saying there's no wind. So basically, when Buzz got off the thing, right, and he landed, and then when they were putting the flag, stuck it into the moon, you see the flag going back and forth.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But there's no wind in the atmosphere when it comes to the moon.
But that could be like momentous energy.
Or it could have been him turning the flag to get it in the dirt.
Nah, but because if you looked at like the way it was going, it was moving as if it was like in a brush fryer. It was really going really, really fast.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Now I don't believe in the moon. I'm with you, Chase.
The
I
moon-
believe on the moon. I just don't believe like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is like, it's hard to like, just don't believe everything you see. You know what I mean? So
Believe everything you see. I think the term is don't believe everything you hear. Because if
Is
you
that what it
thought
is?
it actually happened. Like,
okay.
so, like, the moral of the story is don't believe everything you see.
No, I think the
That's why I
same
tell girls I
was...
cheat on. I was not kissing her.
You know, the
Good point.
don't believe everything you read because there's tons of like bad press and
Yeah.
fake shit on the internet and things like that. You can't believe everything you read because people used to read something in the paper from some local journalist. And, wow. So it's gotten 3 different layers. Don't believe everything you see. All right. Here's the thing.
Racism's-
I'm looking at the
Chases.
wind.
He's looking at the wind and the moon. He's got a little video up here of Buzz Lightyear on the moon.
Yeah.
Can't get it to go full screen.
I don't even know if we started. We started, right, guys? I don't know.
Oh, we're in.
We've been on, baby.
We're just recording.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Okay. I don't even know.
Chase is like, yeah, what are we talking for?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think about here's where I stand on the moon landing. They'll show things that seem fishy, right? And then also, what was the guy who made The Shining? Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick was commissioned allegedly to help shoot it. Since he was like the best film director at the time, they were like, oh, if we throw a bunch of dirty money at this guy, he'll be able to make a scene that kind of looks like the moon, and we'll fake all this footage. That's the conspiracy theorists believe, or a lot of them. So here's the thing. That might have actually happened. And he might have made things that made it look like we're on the moon that were bad and like not easy to debunk, but now in the future they're debunked. Hindsight's 2020. And they could have made a bunch of botches that we know now scientifically couldn't happen. But do you think that means we haven't been to the moon? Or is it possible that we went to the moon and we're in a race with Russians, right? And then once we get up there, we fake all this footage of us playing golf, and we put a flag in it, and we're playing bocce ball with fucking other astronauts and aliens, and we're like, hey, Russia, no need to come up here. Look, we've done everything you can do. Shut down your space program. We've already done it. We're good, blah, blah, blah. I mean, just because something's fake doesn't mean it's all fake. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't think we actually really know how far the moon really is.
Right.
I think we underestimated
Whoa,
how far. Like, I think the moon itself is a lot farther than what we actually project it is. So we fucking.
should have heard my life.
You don't know the projection and or how far the moon is. Where did that come from?
I was trying.
So
We can measure. I mean, measuring is easy. Like,
No, but how do we just, okay, if you looked up the how far the Earth is to the moon, right? We can Google that, right?
Okay, let's do it.
Right. But what was used to find that answer? What metrics were
you
used to
think
find that
there's
answer?
no tape measure long enough to actually prove it?
Well, because they went.
Okay.
They flew there.
Well, no, what I'm saying, I don't think they actually did. I think they were going there. They were in transit to the moon. And then they fucking realized when they were up there, they're like, oh shit, it's actually a lot farther than what it is. So we're going to create us actually being there by filming it in Arizona.
So you think
that kind of makes
like, fuck it. You think they started flying out there like, this is too long, and made a U-turn and came back?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
The spaceship pulled a Yui?
They pulled a Yui. I think, like, I really
Well,
do, because, you know.
here's the the moon is 238,900 miles, right?
Oh,
That's a lot.
From here. It's a long way. Our sun, which we literally keeps us alive, that keeps the planet, you know, freaking
heat and
inhabitable, is 92.96 million miles away. So they'd add
See?
a whole 92. Wait, yeah, 92 million.
Do you know if the sun?
Yeah, you're trying to tell me the sun is that far away?
It took like 11 minutes before we found out. That's how it takes light 11 minutes to get here from the sun, something like that. Like, so if the sun disappeared right now, we wouldn't know it until 4 minutes later.
I'm confused.
Let me see how far away it is.
It says
wait, Jeff, you said 200. You said 292,000 miles.
93 million miles. The moon is 240,000 miles from Earth. The sun is 93 million miles.
That doesn't make no fucking sense.
That's crazy.
Like, that's crazy.
The sun is falling to the moon. It makes sense. Like, the size of the scale is crazy to think about, but it makes sense. The sun is falling away from the moon.
It's crazy. That
who else? But it's really that, like, come on, that far? Like that far.
Yeah, dude. Dude, they're the nearest.
Well, let me ask you a question. Who else landed on the moon aside from us?
Nobody. America.
Okay.
That's why they have such a good reason to fake footage, is because they're like, look, we already did it. What are you going to do? Come up here and say, hey, we did it too? Like, who gives a shit? It's too much money. Like, you don't want to spend all your government's money going to the moon and like, yeah, America already did that.
Well, I would agree that
they do that with hip hop.
Maybe they embellish them.
We should just get some Italian astronaut who gets to the moon and is like, yeah, but we did it better. Sure, America did it first. I'm the new moon guy.
They do with everything else, like from like American like culture and stuff. Like they take all that shit anyways. So
I don't know why we haven't gone back, to be honest, because they say there's nothing to do
there. It's a big pile of sand.
But Buzz Aldrin claims he saw aliens up there.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, he said he saw beings, and NASA was like, "You're not going to tell anybody that you saw beings. Everyone will think we're crazy. No one's going to believe us. You'll look like a psychopath." And now that he's old and kind of crazy, he's been telling everyone about how he saw beings on the moon.
Here's a great question: would you guys be more intimidated or scared to find out that aliens were real or ghosts were real?
See, I think that I've never considered in my entire life, even when I was a little kid, I've never considered that aliens or ghosts weren't real. I've always just gone, yeah, those are both real.
No, I'm saying, but like, if you were going to be confronted by one,
confronted?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'd be more scared of being confronted by an alien than a ghost.
When you say ghosts, are you also like involving like extraterrestrial spirits and shit like that too?
Whoa, you're talking about a mashup of an alien ghost?
Yeah, and I've never even heard of that. What do you mean? You think there's ghosts?
Would you consider like figures like angels, things that you would see in the dark, like those things?
That's a ghost. Angels are dead people, right?
Yeah. Oh no, angels aren't dead people. They're like good demons.
Okay.
And demons were never people, and angels were never people.
Okay. So demons and ghosts.
But like, yeah, they're allegedly, according to the Bible, if you read that, like everywhere around us there are things we just can't see. So in that corner might be a angel just looking out for us, just keeping safe on my house and like standing guard and just being there, a positive kind of energy. Whereas also in that corner might be like a demon who's literally like waiting to move some shit or spook me or tempt me with something, whatever. But they were never people.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think like
I believe in it.
yeah. But what would you
Yeah, I
rather? Would you rather see a ghost in your apartment, which I'm pretty sure you have some, or would you rather, or would you be rather like little gray people with big eyes around your
Abducting
bed
you, yeah.
while you're in your house?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I'll take the ghost. I'll take the
Me too.
ghost. Yeah.
I don't feel like
Yeah.
ghosts have a record of hurting people.
Yeah, I'm more afraid of aliens. I'd rather be confronted by a ghost than an alien.
Yeah, because I
aliens,
think like
it's no joke. I mean, if they got here, that means they're like space people, and they're trying to make me an ant. You know, like
yeah, and I'm
some
scared
sort
of them.
lab rat.
I'm scared of them no matter what.
Yeah.
But like,
But you believe,
but I think a spirit would scare me less. That's what I think.
but you believe in Jeff. But you like you're from Seattle. Like you're a big like Sasquatch guy, like
Yeah.
Bigfoot guy.
The big,
All right. So do you believe in like there's a Sasquatch out there, or do you
100%.
like the myth of like Sasquatch?
I think there's thousands of Sasquatches. I think that there's just a big monkey that lives in the woods that's nocturnal, and it lives so dense in the timber that people rarely see it. And when they do see it, they're either Native Americans, loggers, or like the forest department. And so those three groups all claim they've seen it, all have stories, all have hair, all have sightings, all have verbal they've heard it. And everybody just goes, yeah, right. He's like, well, why would you see it, Chase? You're in Boston. Why would I see it? I'm in Los Angeles in Sherman Oaks. I'm never going to see one unless I'm out in the woods at night in the middle of nowhere. And even then, the odds are so preposterous because it's so small number of species. Plus, anyone that goes in the woods doesn't go in the woods at night. You'd have to be stupid. You'd have to be a stupid person.
Fucking the most anything you can do.
Yeah, and I think that's very probable. I think it's just a human. I think you could shoot it and kill it, like it's just a big monkey. But like aliens, that's scary to me, because like you said, they came from somewhere.
Yeah.
We've not only if we traveled to the moon and we saw aliens, we would never have the balls to be like, all right, let's sneak into their houses.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing home invasion.
Hey, you know what we should do is grab one and put it in our NASA spaceship. Yeah. Like we would be like, don't touch it, don't touch it. It might have a virus. Like we would be like so afraid. That's how
Let me ask you both.
These fuckers are so cocky.
Coming around here playing with people.
Coming to my house, they're walking around and then going, we'll take that one. We'll bring it back, erase his memory. Scary.
Let me ask you both. Let me ask you both you guys this: if in fact it was true, we had like actual evidence, like whatever ghosts exist, or let's say like even aliens existed, right?
Yeah.
Would you want to know that they did? Like, would you like?
Absolutely.
Like,
that's the kind of information, dude. That would be game changer.
Yeah, and also like I do believe it. Like I've never even considered that it's not real.
I've always, particularly on aliens, it's a mathematical certainty that aliens exist.
But it's not
whether or not we'll see them is another
right.
question. But it's an absolute mathematical certainty that they exist.
But what the more interesting question is it a mathematical uncertainty in your brain that they're here?
That they got here. That's up for debate.
Those are the ones.
Yeah.
So when someone says like, dude, something has like literally been like kind of following me my whole life, and it shows up in my bedroom, and it takes me to this craft and fucks with me and then puts me back. Do you believe that?
I would. Yeah, I'm more likely to believe that than I am ghosts, and not because I don't believe that like when you die that. But I'm not certain that there's any sort of afterlife and what happens. But I am certain that if they're closer, like are here, they're not trying to fuck with you specifically. I feel like they're a lot less harmful than people think. It's just restless energy. Whereas if an alien showed up, that's a fucking dangerous situation.
Yeah,
like,
it's a superior being.
You're immediately threatened by that.
Yeah, it's a superior being. Like if it's made it to our planet, the dumbest extraterrestrial is smarter than our smartest human being.
Yeah.
Because it's figured out a way to operate an aircraft that can go to another
galaxy.
planet.
Yeah.
One of my favorite conspiracy theories, I don't believe it, but I think it's interesting, is that when we see a UFO, or we see what we think is like an ET looking at us from a spaceship,
right?
That it's us, humans, from the future.
I've heard of that.
In a time machine. Just coming back, hovering over, observing, not messing with anybody. Because there's a lot of reports of just UFOs just flying over, and they're not touching anybody. Yeah. They're really subscribing to the butterfly effect. They're not trying to, mess with you.
Social distancing.
So yeah, and I think that's very fascinating. Like, what if it's just me? Or not? I guess it wouldn't be me, but like maybe like a 90-year-old me on some tourist extravaganza trying to like observe me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like us from the future, kind of looking at us in the past.
Apparently, the cool thing about time travel that I actually like, I've watched a documentary on this kind of nerdy shit. But the laws of physics do state you can go backwards and forwards in time. It's possible. But we know that it's a lot easier to travel forward in time than backwards. Because the faster you're going, the slower time moves for you and the faster it moves for everyone else. So if I put you on a rocket for 10 years, in my 12 years might pass on Earth, and you come back. So you can actually theoretically travel to the future much easier. It's a lot harder to go backwards.
Yeah, I don't know how you go back. It's so confusing, that bending of all that stuff.
That's exactly what what's his name did in the Back in the Future. Fucking that's the formula that he used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you want to go back in time or the future? Would you even entertain? I wouldn't even be interested in it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I would.
if you could go to any
By default,
time,
no, I would not want to go back in time, Jeff.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I would
a lot better for black folks than the past.
Yeah. But you never know. You know, like what if you? Like,
But I never know.
What if they say like, all right, you can skip 10 years in time, but you'll be the same age. You know, you're gonna be you now, but 10 years in the future. Would you do it? And then like, but you can't go back. You're stuck. Those 10 years are gone.
Dude, if you asked me 5 years ago, hey, would you want to go 5 years in the future in the middle of a pandemic? No, I'll
Yeah.
stay with. I'll enjoy these 5 before I hop in the middle of that shit.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a great question.
I'm more likely to go to the future than the past, though. That I would say. If I had the option, I'd want to check out what it's like 20 years in the future, not 20 years ago. I know. I can read about
Well,
that.
we talked about that, Randy. Like I think recently, on the podcast, we were talking about what would you rather do? Would you rather live in your primitive years, like your prime years, or would you rather live in the years of you already like living your prime years? Now you're just relaxed and you're like more at serenity, like you just calm now.
Yeah, getting like, would you rather be younger or older? Kind of thing. Would you rather like be like a 60-year-old guy at peace or a 20-year-old guy with piss and vinegar kind of thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like wisdom is undervalued. Knowing more and being comfortable with yourself is a lot more enjoyable. Obviously, when you're young, your body's bulletproof, but that's fleeting. Like it lasts so shortly.
Well, and also like I talk about all the time on podcasts, just the fact that being older is so much better. I think I knew that as a kid too. Like I can't wait till I'm an adult. I get to go to bed when I want. I get to eat whatever I want. I have money. I can buy anything I want. I get being old is great. I'm smarter than I ever was. I'm in better shape than I ever was. I know more than I ever did. So it's like, I don't know. Like I would never, ever even consider going backwards. Every year's gotten better than the last.
But if you could live in an era,
I have girls that I hang out with now who call me old. They're like, oh, look at this boomer. They're joking around. Still doesn't bother me. I'm like, yeah,
I call myself old, but I like it. I'm an old man. I'm taking my midday nap. It's fantastic.
It's great. You just kind of have this like.
I don't give a shit. Every year that passes, I get less of a shit than the year before. Like I don't take anything personal. I get more easygoing about it.
I think that's why God makes us resent young people. It's because we don't want it. We're like, I don't. That if I was looking at kids and still thinking they're cool and everything they said was funny, and I thought that their lifestyle and their interests were so great, I would probably want to be that, and it would make me jaded and weird because I can't be young.
Right.
But I see young people like, look at these fucking idiots, the tattoos on their faces and stupid.
Well,
so when I see that, I just go, oh, good, I'm glad I'm not young because young people are stupid.
Well, there's that great quote, youth is wasted on the young.
No, it's a great quote.
It's a great line. And then there's another great Tony Bennett quote that I love. He said, life teaches you how to live if you live long enough. So I was like, the older you get, it just gets better.
Yeah.
Like, I'm enjoying this more. Man, I wish I had 5 more years like this last year.
Yeah.
You know, like
I posted a like Thoreau like literally like 2 nights ago where it was like, I've always resented that I'm not as wise as I was when I was first born. But what he's suggesting is that like when you're first born, you didn't come out and start worrying, oh God, who's gonna feed me? You're 100% dependent on whatever birthed you, whether you're a baby bear cub or you're a human being. You're so dependent for safety, for food, for warmth, for affection, for all those things, and yet you're carefree.
Yeah.
You just come out and you just go, I guess this will work out. And like, but then you grow up and you start to learn worrying.
Pile on
and you start to learn, and worrying has never helped anything.
Worry and doubt and
it's
angst,
never
anxiety.
helped anything. By worrying about it, it's never solved a single problem. So I just think that's fascinating. But that's the other side of that coin a little bit.
Yeah.
If you get older, you got
another great quote about worrying. It's like, are you worried about something? Can you change something? No, don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
Can you? Yes. Then don't worry about it. Like, either way, you'll be fine. Like,
there's a guy it's a great motivational speech, which I'll put the link in this for the podcast, but it's a motivational talk called "Don't Forget Sunscreen." It's like this good quote that this guy gives to the graduating class.
Too late for me.
It's yeah. Well, the reason he calls it that is because at the beginning he says, like, my first piece of advice for you is the only thing that's really proven by science. You know, wear sunscreen.
Okay.
Statistically reduces the rate of skin cancer. He goes, everything else I'm going to tell you is just my opinion from my life. And he just drops wisdom after wisdom after wisdom. And then he goes, but most importantly, wear sunscreen. Like that was the whole thing. But I'm trying to remember why I brought that up. We were just talking about
a lot of life quotes and worrying about the worry.
Oh, yeah. He said you're going to spend all your time worrying about stuff that'll probably never happen to you. And then the things that do happen to you that you
didn't expect,
you didn't even worry about. It just kind of found its way. Did you think 3 months ago we would be worrying about a virus? Where I'm going to get stand-up comedy work because I'm stuck in my house? Like, this was an unimaginable thing that all of us are dealing with. This is the only time in history where they've shut down sports and they've literally said stay home and their businesses are closing left and right.
And every country on the planet is living at the same time.
And no one planned for it.
Right.
We all are dealing with
We knew it was a
something.
very real possibility. Bill Gates talked about it 5 years ago, so we knew it was a possibility. Like, it won't happen, and then it befell us.
And we're
here.
all dealing with it fine.
Yeah.
We're all getting along. We're making it happen. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to be productive, positive. And it's great that I didn't worry about it because, look, we're okay.
Absolutely. Dude, I'm actually almost thankful I took the last 4 years off of work. It's like, oh, good, because I didn't waste the time before the pandemic worrying about this shit. Like, I enjoyed my last 4 or 5 years. Like,
well, Will Smith has a thing like that where he talks about how he's like he spent the 3 days before he went skydiving worrying about, oh my God, what could happen, and should I really do this, and it's gonna be so scary. And he's putting on the brace and he's going, oh God, it's really happening. And the whole plane ride, he's just worrying so much. And then when he gets out there, he's like, this was awesome. He's like, what a waste of those 3 days. I wasted those days worrying about it. And then when I got up here, it was so fun and so great. It's like, it's not worth, worrying ever. But I worry about it.
What's your, well, it's like, I don't know. What do you guys think, man? You think we're just right? We're hitting the climax, or it's going to be,
going for months. I think people are underestimating how long it's going to go on. Yeah.
Oh, I'm underestimating how long it's going to go on just because I'm trying to will that.
But also one day
I don't believe it. I have no guesses. I'm just hoping that it'll be over and like we'll get an email in like a week. It's like, hey, good news.
Email from Donald Trump, right?
It all disappeared from everyone's bodies.
It's over. It's like, what?
The good news is, and maybe people listening would qualify for this, is that all my bills have been like suspended. So like I have payment.
Oh, mine's been suspended, Jeff, for many years.
Well, that's great.
No, I don't pay. Yeah,
those are suspended. That's just you being delinquent on the balance. No, but
one day it will come around.
Because this is such a big emergency that's affecting literally every country on the planet. They're allowing to like not have to pay your mortgage, not have to pay your car payments,
or defer the payment. Really.
You don't have to pay it while we're dealing with this, and they'll just put it on the bank.
Has your bank like done that already? Your bank's done that?
I had to file for it, but yeah, like my mortgage, cool. Literally just went to my mortgage's website, put in my thing. And the reason I'm telling this, because it's not that interesting, but it might be useful to anyone that's listening. If you're thinking, how am I going to pay, blah, 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 talk to your landlord. Say, hey, how do I can't work. I need to not pay my rent this month because
and if you
I can't pay my rent.
And if he files for not paying his mortgage, then he doesn't have to pay him, but it's fine. But
it's not shameful to me. Yeah.
Everyone has to fucking kick in. This is not like, there's not going to be, there should be no profiteering in this.
Right. And I'm in a really blessed position, and even I'm getting those
benefits.
Those, I don't know, like that charity or that nice thing. So there's no shame in it. You should go ask your landlord, go to your mortgage company, go to your bank, say, listen, we're like literally on a crisis out there. Like I can't work, I can't afford to pay it. So look into those options. There's tons of things you can do about not having to pay your bills.
What do you do with
that? Definitely. And then if you got, what was that, Randy?
What are you gonna do with the $1,200 check you get, the stimulus check?
Going to Cheetahs.
What do you mean? The strip club?
I'm going to strip club. Yeah.
It's not open.
I can tell you where you don't want to be as a place for this content.
No, I got their numbers.
Wait, they're open?
Oh, 4
I got their numbers.
You know, a little home show.
Is funny. They'll bring a gal over wearing a mask.
There'll be a lot of Jordans on stuff.
Wait,
It was
I have been buying more things than I've bought in a long time, just because I'm home and I'm like, oh, I need that, so I'll buy it off Amazon, like just like little home things.
Dude, my original theory on the coronavirus was that some Chinese manufacturer invented it to sell more face masks.
Oh yeah.
But now I'm convinced Jeff Bezos invented it to put Walmart out of business.
You think so?
Dude, Amazon is destroying right now.
Oh,
Walmart
yeah.
is getting crushed, and that's their only real competitor in
Right.
terms of the mass market.
My buddy's mom, and I'm not gonna say which buddy because he and her both listen to my podcast, but she's a sweetheart and I love her. But she posted on her Facebook, and she's probably in her 60s, middle class family.
Single?
Nope, happily
Single?
married. She's also handicapped.
Oh, that's right up Tracy's alley.
She
Right up my alley, kid.
I don't know.
Mentally or physically, both great. We like it.
So she her post on Facebook was, can't believe Walmart is making its customers stand in line and wait to come inside. I guess I'll be happy to take my business elsewhere. Like, she was mad at Walmart for being
We're not killing her.
cautious about a goddamn virus.
We're not putting her in danger.
Yeah. We need the lines for social distance. You can't have a whole Walmart holds, I don't know, 4 million people per location. You can't have all those people going around.
But also, I love business elsewhere. Where the fuck's she gonna go?
I know.
What are you have to wait in line at Ralph's, jerk off?
Also,
what are you talking about?
all those videos of people fist fighting over toilet paper and acting like goddamn
Dumb.
animals is places
Savages.
like Walmart.
Yeah.
Though it's not. That's not. That's not Whole Foods.
Yeah.
No, of course not. Of
At
course
Air
not.
One organic grocery store, they're not fist fighting for paper towels.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, well, I don't know. I just think it was.
There's no Whole Foods in the hood either, Jeff. So there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a joke about wiping my ass with coffee filters, and this virus completely ruins it for me. This whole TP situation.
Oh.
Because I feel like the people out there wiping their ass with coffee filters nowadays. Like now everyone's doing it.
We're all doing it.
We're struggling. You know?
We got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, I got it. You know.
I'm just washing my hand in the sink and then wiping my ass and then getting in the shower and washing again. So just wash my ass.
I just skip a step and shit right in the shower and just push it down the bare
Oh,
of my
that's
toes.
a genius move.
Make it easy.
Listen, I was from when I used to be in Africa as a kid. There was no toilet paper for the most part.
You
Really?
wipe your ass, a handful of dust, and then keep going. How'd it go?
No, we just used like a rock. We use
A
like
rock?
a rock. Yeah, we use a rock.
Scarred as your ass.
Or
Yeah.
no. You let it.
Your
You gotta let
butthole looks
the
like
sun
New
bake.
Jack's forehead from pro wrestling. Remember New Jack from ECW?
Oh yeah.
I wasn't an ECW guy. I was more of like a WWE and a ECW. Not ECW.
So
Not
tell us
ECW.
more about this ass wiping rock.
Yeah. So was it like you guys all wipe your ass with the same rock, or was it a different rock? Everyone had their own stone.
No. If you don't know, there's a lot of rocks in Africa, Randy. There's multiple rocks in Africa.
Okay.
It's not just one.
No
Yeah.
shortage of rocks.
Jeez, what happened? He got a burn mark on his forehead.
This is New Jack's forehead, the reference I was making.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's a wrestler dude, right?
Yeah, New Jack from ECW.
Yeah, New Jack. Yeah. Didn't he stab somebody or something
Yes.
like that?
And
He jacked somebody.
oh
it
my
sounds
gosh, he's the best. There's a great documentary, and we got plenty of time, so you should go to YouTube. It's called The Dark Side of the Ring. It's a series about wrestling.
It was on Vice, right?
Yeah, and there's one on New Jack, and it's so good. But yeah, his forehead's like that because every match for 25 years he would crack his head open, so he'd cut his head with this, what's that called? Like a razor blade. And then someone
Razor blade, yeah.
chair and it would bust open and gush, and he would do that so many times. And
Then he scarred up his forehead. Huh?
yeah, forever.
You probably would I don't know, you probably might appreciate this. Jeff, like I grew up I'm from the same town where Killer Kowalski's gym was at.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I used to see all like the early wrestlers, like because it was right at, like I would see them like a lot of them like performed in like the middle school gyms and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
like Killer Kowalski would actually like come to like my middle school and like
Oh, that's pretty great.
Dude, that's got to be one of the most hazardous jobs on the planet.
I don't know. Yeah, say his gym was Triple H. I saw Triple H like in his like when I was like 10.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing WrestleMania right now, which is it's so bad. Like they did a 2-part thing. And, you know,
Why
wrestling
Why they do it?
I know, because it's like, here's the difference. With the Major League Baseball, they had to shut down spring training, and we're losing like the first month of Major League Baseball, maybe longer. We also lost March Madness, which is university basketball for men and women. XFL had to stop early. Whereas they didn't – it's not the NBA Finals. They haven't had to cancel that. They haven't had to cancel the World Series. They haven't had to cancel the Super Bowl. But WrestleMania is the Super Bowl for WWE. They make most of their money on that.
And it was so near to this time period anyway. It wasn't like Super Bowl Sunday, like they could cancel the day before. Like
right.
They're already here.
And Vince is a money guy. And Vince was like, I'm having it no matter
I'm not giving
what.
no refunds.
Yeah. And they were like, you can't. And so the city of Tampa had to shut it down, not Vince McMahon. The city of Tampa had to say, we're not doing this. You know, you can't. And they basically told him they can't use the facility. And so Vince
filmed it in his yard?
Yeah, basically they filmed it at like these like they kind of pre-taped them all, so like they would do like a match, and like who knows when that was taped, but it aired this weekend. One of the matches looked like you were watching a movie. It was just, I mean, like they took
like choreographed fights.
Yeah, it was in a graveyard between Undertaker, still wrestling, and AJ Styles, and it was like it literally looked like you watched a movie with the end fight scene, but there was no story leading up to it. Just a guy shows up and fights another guy, and that's it. It was so weird.
All-time wrestler, in your opinion, for you? Your favorite.
I like Macho Man Randy Savage. He's just hilarious. And then also
I thought he had the best mic work in the game.
Oh, so good, dude. Just a perfect combo of great humor, wit, and cocaine. That's just all it took. Just saying
just covered in baby oil out there going nuts.
Which really is the
Randy, you should have went to WWE, Randy.
Yeah, you're jacked. Like, you'd do great, actually. Yeah, it's tricky because if you think about it, those guys were like bodybuilders who had no sketch comedy, anything. They have no acting qualifications. Literally, they're just bodybuilders who learned how to fake fight, and now they have to do basically improv monologues on heaps of drugs without cursing for children on morning television. That was like that's a weird combo to crack.
That's that's crazy. I didn't think about that. That's crazy.
My favorite was Randy Savage would always he would often turn his back to the camera or the interview in the middle of an interview. I was like, that is the one, like you're on TV, you don't turn around.
So funny. Yeah, you
regularly turning around. He would do.
Most of our celebrities, we wouldn't be able to identify the back of their head. Everybody we know
the camera's head on.
That's hilarious.
Like for me, Randy Savage and Razor Ramon had the ultimate swag without really trying too hard.
Yeah,
like
naturals.
Just naturals at it, you know.
The Ultimate Warrior had the best physique in the game. He was shredded.
I would say
Ultimate Warrior was shredded, dude. He was ripped.
I think the best physique in wrestling is Bobby Lashley.
Oh, good one. Yeah,
and he used to be I guess like some sort of like actual fighter too. Like he was like one of those, I don't know the term of it, like mixed martial arts fighter, or he's like, but he's also huge.
He's a football player.
He's just this big mammoth of a man. I think he used to be like an MMA, or he was in UFC
or
something.
Christ, that's a scary dude.
And he's just huge. And I think he's like 6'7" or something. He's just a big, bad dude.
And just shredded to pieces.
Yeah. What do you think about Gronk? Gronkowski's like, I heard he's in it, like doing a WWE run.
I saw the match.
What do you think?
It's unreal. So here's the thing. For people that are listening,
I can see Jeff's brain. It's just like
Gronkowski wanted to come to pro wrestling because he's done with football and he's like, he's like on TV shows and he's trying to like do the next thing. One of his best friends, Mojo Rawley, has been in wrestling for 10 years. So Gronk's like, I want to get in. They don't know what to do. So that now that the COVID happened, they needed someone to like be the host of WrestleMania, where they keep cutting to him and he keep the show going. So they give Gronk the job, which the only time WWE's ever had a host for WrestleMania before, it was Kim Kardashian.
Ugh.
So Gronk is in some interesting company,
rare air,
some fame company, and what he did was he did his best. But that's a tough.
He tried real hard.
It's hard enough to be good when there's no audience. Like you feed off the audience. So even the best wrestlers kind of are coming off corny and shitty.
So it's really unfair. Gronk doesn't know what he's doing yet, and now he's got to do it for no
Alone, yeah.
crowd. Like, I think this would have been a big hit for him, and it would have been a good natural fit. Gronkowski's big, he's silly, he's likable, he's charming. It'd have been a good marriage with him in wrestling. But then this virus really made it seem uncomfortable.
I always figured out, and not just leave with this WWE thing. I always wondered why Sting never really transferred over to the WWE. Like, you know, like, but again, I felt like he was like.
Well, you know what's weird is I remember Sting was the only guy who never came back. He was the only guy that never jumped ship, you know, and the WC, Ted Turner really loved him for that. But didn't Sting start in WWE?
Not that I'm not.
Yeah, like
No.
When he looked like this.
Oh no! You know what happened? No, he was what's his name? Ultimate Warrior. He was a tag team with Ultimate Warrior. They started together as a tag team.
But that was in WWF?
No, that was in the
WCW.
No, that was the Southern promoter there. Like before like Vince McMahon took him over. Whoever that promoter was.
Really?
Yeah.
So there was never a time where he was just like wearing, because he used to before he ripped off the crow, he used to look like this. His name's Steve.
He was from California guy. Yep.
He used to look like this.
Exactly.
Yep. That's WCW?
No, that was the you know that promotion company, the guy before Vince McMahon that used to run all those like kind of like Southern promotion wrestling things.
Guy?
Yeah.
It was like, you know, it was like Nashville whatever, like Wrestling Federation or Nashville Wrestling something. Like there was one guy, I forgot his name, but he was like the guy, and then he wanted to get out of business. I think,
probably.
Yeah. So they started that. Yeah, so Sting was like with Ultimate Warrior, and they were doing those like smaller markets, and then and again, that's my memory of it, but I don't think Sting was.
Because Bruce Pritchard says why Sting never came to WWE, and it's like I think they say they must have just done these weird kind of small promotions, and then when WCW formed, he came over to WCW.
Yeah. Because he owned a gym.
What's that?
Ted Turner owned WCW?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, why not put this on? This is great. You know, we'll watch Braves baseball and we'll put wrestling on. Like Ted Turner seemed like a dude that I would have been
good kind of guy.
good
Hang with that
friends
guy.
with. Yeah, he's like opened a bunch of breweries, a bunch of bars,
He's one of the
steakhouses.
largest private landowners in the country.
He
He owns like a third of Montana.
I love
It's insane.
Just dude that loves baseball and wrestling is like, yeah, hey, this will be fun. He never got into politics. Just like cool ass. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I worked out to his ex-wife's workouts before.
Jane Fonda?
Jane Fonda workouts. My mom used to work out to them.
He used to masturbate to them.
Yeah, well, she wasn't working out to him. You know, gotta get
Yeah.
Wait, you said he got kicked out of Brown for having sex?
Yeah, well, he went in the late 50s, and it was illegal. Like the guys couldn't be in the girls' dorms, and he got caught multiple times, so they threw him out.
What a legend.
Yeah. It's like, it worked out, didn't it? And then they gave him an honorary degree years later.
He's like, I'm in college.
Yeah, he's like, it worked out all right.
What am I going to do? Not have sex with the girl? That is amazing. All right, guys.
We did it.
We did it.
We've survived quarantine.
Chase, what are you going to do for the rest of your day there in Boston? I guess it's evening.
To be honest with you, I gotta get my life together, man. I gotta think about a lot of shit. Like
shape up. You're gonna turn it all around, right? Starting right now.
Today's the day.
Today's the day, man. You got, a lot of things. Jeff, I don't know. I really don't know. Like I
don't know what you're gonna do today.
He's panicking.
I'm gonna go and make some deliveries because I gotta make some scratch.
Yeah, what are you delivering? You're saving lives.
Yeah, he's a fucking hero.
That is true. Like I don't cook, man. I don't know how to do all that shit. Actually, last few days you'd be impressed. But besides that,
you got a beautiful kitchen. You should.
I know.
You don't cook.
So the last 2 days in a row, I've made eggs with hot sauce.
Ooh.
And I've just toasted up this like good toast. I eat that, like scrape the eggs into my mouth with that. And then I had like a French press coffee. and then like a protein shake with chocolate and apple juice, and then I feel like there was something else. Oh, these little sausages, like these vegan sausages. And I put that all together. I heated that all up, put it all together. I was like so proud of myself. Which I know, like to any chef, it's like big fucking whoop, but that's me.
That's a lot of cooking for you.
That's insane. That's never happened ever.
Would you ever see yourself as the cooking guy? Do you ever see yourself like as a dude that can chef up some shit?
Enjoyed it. The last 2 days have been great. I get why you feel like a little sense of pride. You're kind of like, it's almost like meditating. You're kind of sitting there going like, yeah, okay.
And you get to eat it.
Yeah, and then feel, I don't know, like, and I feel like I saved money. I don't even know if that's true. It might have been just as expensive as like ordering something somewhere else, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was fun.
Oh, Chase, you know I've been crushing the kitchen. Every day I make a grand meal. Like I'm like, all right, I'm doing I have meat, a fucking some sort of
Randy's got a side. Randy could cook. Randy could throw down.
He's capabilities.
Well, when we started with all that, I was just trying to say that people that are delivering food right now are saving lives. People are starting to not everyone knows how to eat, or not everyone knows how to cook and prepare food. So you're doing good things. What is that? What's behind you? Someone's groceries you haven't delivered yet?
Yeah, those are
someone's groceries he stole.
Well, those are Trader Joe's bags that I use them as trash because I don't buy trash bags.
Smart.
Yeah, I've been living like this for a while, Jeff. You know, like
I'm living like this for a while.
I'm worried about you, dude.
Yeah.
Final question, Chase. How is the hair? How are we doing? Are we George Jefferson yet? It's getting there. It's getting there.
It's
you can't shave it. He's starting to grow out.
Can't shave it.
You're growing it out. He's on a hair protest also. He's not shaving.
Yeah, I'm not shaved. I'm gonna try and wait.
Oh yeah.
See how bushy.
Randy told me
on a shave stripe.
I told Randy, I was like, you can cut your own hair, and he's like, he will not do that. He will not cut his own hair.
Well, it's like make it go from bad to worse.
Yeah.
No, I'll leave it.
Just leave it. Just be happy. Just live your life.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, you're fucking. Every time I talk to you guys, man, you guys put a smile on my face, man. So.
Same, dude. We love you, buddy.
Thanks for jumping on.
You want to come quarantine with us?
I'll fly there tomorrow, man. Don't fucking get me started. You know what I mean? Hey, flights are cheap. I can afford it now.
$49 to Boston.
Yeah, because who would want to go to an airport right now?
Exactly. It's a fucking death trap.
I used to roll my eyes when I would see someone walk by me with one of those stupid masks. I was like, get a life. Just fucking grow up. Now, I literally leave my house to let my dog poop, and 4 people walk by me with masks. It's crazy. The whole world is...
Everyone's a surgeon now.
Yeah, look at it.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, man. Jeff, you have the perfect place for a quarantine pandemic.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
You got cool shit. You got just cool shit, dude. Exactly, man.
Yeah. I got tons of fun stuff, video games. I got board games. I got a whole kitchen full of groceries. And I got Netflix, Apple TV.
A dog?
Disney Plus, a puppy, which I bought goggles for today.
Oh, we're going to have some fun with that.
Dog goggles. What a time to be alive.
Please tell me, did you put Bub in the motorcycle hatch?
He's been in the motorcycle, but I haven't posted any photos of that or anything because I was waiting for the arrival of these goggles. And a big shout out to Rex Specs, REXSPECS, Rex Specs. Even if you don't have a dog, and even if you have a dog that you're like, I would never put goggles on my dog, go to their Instagram just to look at photos of dogs with goggles. It's so great. And I must have spent 2 hours.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just got to ask this, right? You're the type of dude, right? And I think Randy share the same characteristics, too, similar characteristics. You guys are pretty solo dudes. What made you just be yo, I'm just going to get a dog, after just many years of just being by yourself and just doing what you wanted to do?
Yeah, because you guys met me at a unique time. I've always been a dog guy. I've always had dogs. Since I've been alone, I've always had dogs. I had a black lab named Wally, and then I had a little Rhodesian Ridgeback named Mister for a long time. So when I met you guys was the small window of my life that I never had a dog.
The gap in between dogs.
Yeah, and so you guys just knew me as a guy that didn't have a dog, but I've always been the dog guy. And so enough time went by that I was like, fuck it. I don't even care if I have to spend a bunch of money again to have people watch him when I'm on the road. I'll get a dog. And I picked the best time, not just because of this quarantine, but because at this point in my life, I know a bunch of families. So when I had Wally, I only knew like other single guys and stuff. So they'd like, I'd be like, hey, can you watch my dog this weekend? They're like, we can't, dude. We're going to Cancun.
Or if they did, you come back, it's dead.
Yeah. And there just weren't. But at this age, I know so many families with yards and kids, and their kids love the dog, and they have their own pets. And so I literally just call Pat Finn or Donna Finn, his wife, and be like, hey, I'm going on the road. Can I drop off Bub with you? And they're like, oh, we'll take him this week. And they're like sending me photos, and Bub's happy as hell. So it's truly the best time to have a dog, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, especially around right now. I mean, I'm a type of person I can't because I don't know responsibility.
Yeah.
So like
it's a lot. I mean, you're not wrong. It's a ton of patience and work. It's just like, if you don't want that trade, I think it's worth it to not be alone in my house and stuff like that. You know, so I think it's worth it. But you're right. If you don't want to like do stuff, I mean, it's a fucking.
I mean, it's a living animal. You got to take care of it. You can't just fuck off on the thing. It's
not
alive.
A plant. Yeah. And so you're right. You know, but so I think my like love for dogs overrides the responsibility factor, because it's not like a girlfriend or a kid. Like I don't have to talk to him if I don't want. I don't have to.
He never talks back.
Yeah, he's never gonna get like mad at me. Yeah. Like, why'd you ignore me for that podcast? We had plans. Like so it's like, in a lot of ways, a dog's much more superior to a partner.
You're I don't know, man. Known you for a little bit now, man. Your positivity, your consistent positivity always fucking impresses me, man.
Oh,
you know,
very much. I appreciate
it's not like it's a real thing. It's not manufactured. Like, it's for real.
It's a better way to live.
Yeah, man. So you're always like hearing your voice, man. And the other guy on your left, yeah, not so much. But
you know what I mean.
I love you, dude. Hey, let's talk soon.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Thanks, guys. That's it for us. Peace.
And how about that for an episode? Listen, guys, thank you guys so much for being so supportive these last few weeks. Like I said, and I keep reiterating because I just want you guys to know that I'm aware that this quality is not acceptable. But for these circumstances, the world is ending outside. COVID-19 is running rampant in every country. This is just how it's going to have to be. So thank you for your commitment and your loyalty and sticking around. And thank you for continuing to subscribe and not just bailing on me when I need the money the most. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. It's going to get better. And when the podcast returns, we're going to have bigger... here's the thing. The guests will be more famous and more well-known. And then we'll also have some of your favorite guests from the past. But the quality will resume to go back to the way it was before the quarantine, because I'll have all my stuff back, all the things I can do. In the meantime, I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the podcast and loving it. If you guys have any ideas for me, go ahead and shoot me some suggestions, shoot me some comments on what you maybe would like to see me do, maybe who you'd like to have me have on the podcast. Shoot me those ideas. Also, if you are bored and you're looking for stuff to do during the quarantine, you're running out of podcasts, you're running out of shows, I have an album for sale called Jeff Dies Live from Madison. If you'd like to buy this, it's available on iTunes. You can download it. It'll have an hour of comedy that will remind you that everything's gonna be okay, and it'll help you get through the corona quarantine. Bubby, come here. We love you guys. Thank you for being a part of it. Hey, Bub, you want to talk? You want to be on the podcast real quick? Come here. I don't know. We'll see if he does. I don't know if he's gonna do it. Anyways, we love you guys. Thank you so much for being so cool. And when I say we, I mean me and my dog. That's who I'm talking for. All right, bye.
Friendship